Hello beautiful people, Robyn Thomas here, also known as Braids by Rod. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a tutorial of a braid down for crochet braids on thin hair. So this is a tutorial for those who have thin hair and want the best braid pattern for crochet braids so that their braids aren't showing when they have them in. Their foundation is nice and secure. There isn't too much hair or tension put on your braid pattern. This is for you. So if you are interested, stay tuned. Before I actually get started with the braid down, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about crochet braids because people think that crochet braids are really easy to deal with, and they are fairly easy to deal with, but when it comes to doing a protective style and choosing crochet braids as a protective style, you want to make sure that you are not using too much hair. You want to make sure that your braid pattern is good for the type of hair that you are about to install, and also good for the type of hair that you have, whether it's thin, fine, super thick, or whatever. You really want to make sure that your protective style is protecting. So before I get into the braid down, I just wanted to say that. All right, so let's hop into the braid down. So when it comes to clients who have thin hair, as opposed to doing the straight backs, like the 12 going straight back into the 6 braids or whatever, when they're getting a traditional crochet, I actually like to do a beehive. So I tell my clients, or ask my clients, what side do you normally wear your hair on? Just so they're able to get the style that they want majority of the time. Actually all of the time, the client doesn't have a problem with with thin hair don't have a problem with getting, or will only having one side part, They don't have a problem with having only one side part, which makes it a lot easier, because my whole plan with crochet braids is to make sure that your braids are not showing whenever you have your protective style in, but also making sure that you don't have too much hair on your head or anything like that. So that's why I like to choose this for my clients, and I ask them, what side do you prefer to wear your part on, so that I can make sure that the rest of their hair or their braid foundation is not being shown while they have their protective style in for 4 to 8 weeks, depending on their comfortability of the style. So you just saw me part around the perimeter, all the way around the perimeter. So I'm going to start the braid at the top right of her head, and I'm adding just a little bit of braiding hair. You do not want to add a ton of braiding hair. I'm only adding a little bit of braiding hair, and I have other pieces that are off to the side for me to feed in once this strip of hair ends. So I'm braiding the hair, making sure I'm not putting too much tension on it, but also making sure that her foundation is secure. Her hair is thin and it is fine. Her hair is extremely, extremely soft. So adding the braiding hair helps with that. It also helps with securing her foundation so that her braids don't unravel, because people with soft hair, braids tend to unravel or tend to get loose a lot quicker, as opposed to those who have more coarser hair. So adding the braiding hair helps with that. Before I begin braiding my client's hair, I always tell them to let me know if I'm hurting you at any point of this install. Basically, I am not a braider who believes in hurting clients as I'm braiding their hair. That is something we are used to, something we grew up learning or having to be used to, and I don't believe that, so I'm not that braider. And I say that because also when I'm braiding a client's hair, I ask them throughout the install, is everything okay? Am I doing okay with the tension? Is it too tight? Does it hurt? If I'm getting around the edges part where they're more delicate, I'll ask them, how does that feel? Is that too tight? Or things like that, just to make sure that I am not harming the client. So also, when it comes to your braid foundations for crochet braids, you want to make sure that your braid foundation is nice and secure, but not too tight, because you have to go through that braid with that crochet needle to get that hair through. And a client does not want to be in the chair every time you're putting the crochet needle through their braid hurting. So you just want to make sure when you're doing any type of install that you're not adding any tension to the client's head, especially when you're doing crochet braids, because you have to go back on top of that and use a crochet needle to go in between those braids to crochet the hair through. I also say that because her scalp and clients with who have a lighter complexion, their scalp tends to become a little red. So I ask them a little bit more often than usual if I'm hurting them, because their scalp is just does that, you know what I'm saying? But as a braider who cares about, yes, the end result, but cares about the process, I want to make sure that my clients are comfortable and that when they leave my chair, they can turn their head, and when they go to sleep at night, it doesn't feel like that somebody is pulling their scalp back. So yeah. All right, so what you see me doing here is just continuing to go around the perimeter. Like I said, I'm doing a beehive braid down for this crochet install. So all I did was part along the perimeter around that braid again, just in a circle, and I'm continuing to braid, adding in those pieces of hair as I go along, and making sure I'm not putting too much tension on the client's hair, but also making sure her foundation is nice, secure, flat, and again, tension free. Up until now, the video was sped up just for time purposes to not make the video extremely long. But this is how I take my time whenever I'm braiding a client's hair, making sure that, like I said, I'm not adding too much tension or anything, but I'm getting a really good and secure foundation. It usually takes me around, I'd say about 40 minutes for a braid down. It takes me probably about 40 minutes to complete a braid down. And that's with whatever type of hair they have. So I'd say maybe 40 to 45 minutes, depending on if their hair is super thick or super long or anything like that. But on average, it takes me about 40 minutes to complete my braid down. So I like to take my time, make sure I'm not raking through my client's hair. It's comfortable for me. It's comfortable for them. They feel good afterwards. I feel good afterwards because they're not like my head already hurts or anything like that. So all I'm doing is completing the braid down, and what you're going to see when I complete the braid down is I'm going to add additional hair. I want to make sure that the hair is long. I'm going to make sure it has length. I'm trying to figure out the words to put together. So I'm going to make sure the hair that is just the braid off of the scalp has a little bit of length to it, because I'm going to want to go through and crochet that hair up to where the part starts and to come back down, so that I have a little bit more of a braid to add a piece of to add some crochet pieces. So I'm just going to wait until that part gets there to try to explain it again. So continue watching as I finish her braid down and as I begin to go through to crochet her hair in, and I'm going to come back and explain that. Okay, so as you can see, I made sure to have a long piece of braid that was left out after I've left the scalp, so that I can go through and crochet that. And right now I am just using my oil mixture, making sure I am getting it all over her scalp so that she is started with a nice, wonderful scalp. So I've already, when she came to me, I washed her hair, we conditioned it, blew it out, I trimmed her ends, and now I'm making sure that her scalp is good and nourished with this 100% natural oil, which will be on sale coming here pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. And now I'm just crocheting the hair through. Now the piece of hair is super long, so I just went around. I knew it would be too long for what I needed, and my thing kept coming apart. I had the wrong crochet needle. I have a couple in there. I picked up the wrong one, but I went around because I knew it'd be too long for what I was going for. So all I'm doing is going through, I'm crocheting through each braid. Now where you see the hair, the parts where the braid is being crocheted through those parts, I also add hair there as well, because I feel like it camouflages a little bit more. So I just go through and add as when I'm done crocheting or as I'm crocheting, I add hair in those little parts right there. When it comes to clients with super thin hair, to make sure again that nothing is see-through, but not that I have to have a ton of hair. So that kind of helps because that is where her part will be. I really hope that made sense. If not, leave me a comment and I'll try to explain it again for you. So this is the final result of the beehive braid down for her crochet braids. I love it. She loves it. The last time I did her hair, she really liked this braid pattern. When I took her hair down, I cut her hair out and took her hair down, and all of her braids were still intact. Her hair was still full. You couldn't see any of her braids, so I was very happy about that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful for somebody. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share with somebody who needs it, and I will see you all next time. Peace and blessings.